visit our website, salam.co.uk. But before you do that, stay tuned to Salaam Radio here on 106.2 FM because we have Salaam Sports. I'm back here in the studio with my two partners in crime, Sadat Akram and Arif Aziz. Assalamu alaikum to you both.
Wa alaikum salam.
And assalamu alaikum to all of our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to our listeners in Luton, Inspire FM 105.1. Thank you so much for joining us again. And we're on the last weekend of Premier League fixtures, so lots and lots of interesting goings on and permutations, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about in the second half of the show. But also lots and lots going on in the world of sport. Sadat, I don't know if you missed this, but it's the Monaco Grand Prix.
Really?
Yeah.
I always miss it. Because I'm at the airport waiting to be taken.
We've missed it for the last few years, and I was really looking forward to this year.
Absolutely. After the tough year that we've had,
I think it's been difficult this year. I just, it's just organising.
I don't know what it is. For some reason this year I was really looking forward to it.
I was, and to be honest, I needed a break.
Did you?
Yeah, it was tiring yesterday. We were at the protest.
Oh, the protest that you didn't go to?
Yeah, I know, but I sent a lot of love.
You did, yeah. To be fair,
I helped with the placards. I don't know if you saw my boys with the placards. I helped with all that stuff.
No, mate, we didn't see your boys.
God.
Did you see his boys? You saw my boy, right?
I saw your boy.
Yeah.
We were chilling out.
That's because your boy got sent the stage, didn't it? You lot. Somebody, them and nobody. We were right at the back.
So so if you're wondering what we're talking about in Luton, in Peterborough, we had a really good,
superb
Palestine solidarity protest organised by our very own Suleiman Hussein Qureshi and family, and it was pretty much across the board fully supported by the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign in Peterborough, by the mosques, by the Labour Group, by pretty much anyone who's stood in solidarity with people. The Black Lives Matters group, they represented in force as well. We had one of the speakers from there. So a really, really good event that really showed solidarity to the Palestinians in Peterborough, inshallah. It's the absolute least that we can do. Obviously, some of us can't even do that much.
Yes.
Sadat.
Well, no, I'm using this platform to shout it out because you were going to go straight on to sports.
I'll give you an opportunity now. Here you go. You got 10 seconds.
I wanted to. I've used it, haven't I? I've said the platform. I've raised it. You've talked about it. Otherwise, you were just going to go on about the Grand Prix that we were supposed to be at.
This is true. So what is going on in the world of sport today? Obviously the Grand Prix, which we'll come talk about a little bit. There is the PGA Championships, one of the majors, the golf majors going on right now. I was following that yesterday. After the protest that me and Arif went to,
I could sense a theme of totoday's show.
I was a little bit tired after that because it was obviously
very tiring.
Yeah, but
we were there a few hours, weren't we?
But I settled in. Yeah, exactly. I settled in and watched a bit of that. So that's hottening up. That's really spicy. We'll talk a little bit about that. Anything else? Obviously, the end of the football season, so we'll focus on that in the second half of the show.
Yeah.
I was going to talk a little bit about FC Peterborough under 10s.
Yes, rightly so. You have the right for that.
Yeah, excellent.
Fantastic. Last
following
few
the
weeks and
footsteps of the
months.
under 12s, good.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And what else? Is there any cricket going on?
Football, boxing.
Oh yeah, of course, boxing.
How can we forget about boxing?
So
and the Fury AJ Johnson is Joshua. God,
Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. Who's Johnson? What's Johnson on my head?
Boris.
I have not yet, probably.
I think you've had him on your mind, haven't you, Boris?
Yeah. It's probably all the badwas I had in my head.
So go on. Let's talk a little bit about boxing then.
So that's been called off.
You know what? I was following it intently, and it all started about 2 weeks ago, when lots and lots of noise was being made about this Fury Joshua Clash of the Titans, the biggest heavyweight fight in a generation. Both British boxers. It's going to be massive.
Top of their sport as well.
Top of their sport at the peak. And these are the kind of fights that we never get at the right time. But then what happened?
Well, actually, before that talk, there was the fight, obviously the third fight that was supposed to be between Fury and...
there was I don't think there was any talk of that, was there?
They were saying in the contract, he had a time limit to kick that in, so he had to, I don't know, by 2-3 weeks after losing, he had to say, I want that third fight. And I don't know if he did or didn't, but obviously they thought it was clear to go and fight Joshua.
It must have been in the contract, though. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it must be. So I just don't understand how they've gone ahead with Joshua arranging that, announcing it, it's happening, it's good, it's signed, it's done deal,
Well,
when they haven't sorted the Prix Wilder one out.
Obviously, Fury's.
But the Wilder Fury fight was never a fight; it was a franchise. It was always going to be a 3-fight deal.
Well, that's what
because the first one finished in a draw, and that was a surprising draw because pretty much Fury dominated the whole fight. Fight, then got knocked out, then got knocked up, woke up. Like the Undertaker. And there was always going to be a second fight, but when they signed the second fight, they automatically agreed that in the event that Wilder loses, because he was the champion, he gets a right to fight again.
So
and then he did
but
lose.
to trigger that, wasn't there a certain date to trigger that though?
Yeah, there was a date to trigger that, and it went to arbitration, so it went into the courts.
Right.
I don't understand the legalities of it. I mean, I'm sure these contracts are, given the amount of money that's at stake, you'd expect them to be quite convoluted and quite complicated, and I'm sure lots and lots of lawyers are making huge fees off of interpreting them and fighting them in the court of law.
But do you know just stop you for a second.
Of course.
The third fight, wouldn't that have been straight after the second? Well, basically, or would he have had to wait and then fight afterwards or something?
And I think that's where the complication occurred, because I think what happened was they had a date for a third fight, and then that got pushed back because Wilder got injured.
How complicated can these contracts be? We say it's
I don't know.
It's a
You
simple.
work in the world of legal, don't you?
Yeah, it is. All you need to look is the main points, the main actions. Right, this is it. If we're losing, we're entitled to a third fight.
Are you one of those guys that reads the executive summary and nothing about the detail? And you don't even know about the appendices?
I don't even bother reading the executive. I just chance it. Like every legal.
You're a high level kind of guy.
Yeah.
If they really
I have staff members to do that.
If AJ really wants to fight Wilder, they can fight.
AJ Wilder?
Sorry, AJ against
Fury. Yeah.
It is possible, as long as he pays $20 million or something ridiculous like that.
Loose change.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's cheeky as well. That's cheeky as well. Like, either you want the fight or you don't want the fight, right?
Yeah.
And this is from the Wilder camp. You can't say, I want the fight, but I'll let you guys crack on if you pay me $20 million. That's just pathetic, right? I appreciate that he does lose a little bit of marketing capability in the event that AJ wins, and then Fury versus Wilder is going to be a bit of a non-entity because there's no belts riding on it.
Absolutely.
Who cares? But I think I don't begrudge Wilder at all. I think he's well within his rights. He had a contract. He had a fight lined up. I think because of injury that got pushed back. He went to arbitration because he was saying, look, there was a genuine reason for the fight being pushed back, and he can't afford to put those belts up for grabs before I get an opportunity to win them back. That was the whole crux of the contract.
Yeah.
But it's a shame, I guess, for the boxing fans, the British boxing fans.
I can't understand why the media's got involved and why AJ's got involved, knowing there's a fight between Fury.
Well, that's not AJ's fault, though, is it? That's got to be surely more Fury's camp. Yeah. They should know, because AJ wasn't involved in this contract. It was between Fury and Wilder. So Fury camp should have known, legally, we're allowed to go and fight anybody, be it AJ or anyone else. Because we've met all the terms and conditions of this agreement that we've had with Wilder. But they obviously clearly didn't. And according to AJ's camp, they said, we asked you to check that out first. Are you happy? And they said, yeah, don't worry. We're sorted. But clearly they're not.
Yeah, Fury's camp's probably been hiding some stuff, haven't they?
The thing, I mean, it was teetering on that precipice of announcement for a number of days. And then it was announced, and it was literally 2 days later they turned back on it. So the whole boxing world got really excited because it was like, this is going to be such a big fight.
Like a love triangle, isn't it?
Okay, but from our perspective, like I'd classify certainly myself as an armchair fan. From our perspective, Fury Wilder, that's only going to go one way, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd expect it. I think
Yeah.
I think Fury's now in the box seat, and
then Joshua Usyk, is it Usyk, whatever his name is, that's only going to go one way, isn't it? Yeah. So it's inevitable that Fury and Joshua end up fighting.
And which way is that going to go?
So that's the one that I'm probably. I mean, I know a lot of hardcore boxing fans will say Fury all the way.
I'm a Joshua fan.
I'm a Joshua fan as well. I like his smile. He's very smiley.
I like his personality. Yeah.
He's got a face for the TV. He's definitely. Yeah,
he speaks well.
He speaks well.
He's not all about hyping it all up, saying, I'm going to knock you out in a third round, man.
He's very respectful.
He's respectful.
Yeah.
But then if you mess with him, he won't hold back.
Yeah. What do you think, Arif?
I think, mine.
Because you've been in the ring a little bit, you know about how these things work.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for our fight, Arif, as well.
We were in, actually, you missed a really, really good show. We had Hamad on. I think Hamad we've got a caller, actually. We'll just wait for the studio manager to vet that call. But Hamad was in the studio a couple of weeks ago when you weren't able to come in. Really enlightening, wasn't it? It was really interesting talking to him about the Canelo fight and how he saw that and how he read that.
Perspective of it, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it is Hamad on the line. Let me see if I can get him
have a long
on air. Hamad, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, brilliant. Assalamu alaikum, Hamad. You're live on Salaam Radio. Thanks for calling in. We are talking boxing, so I'm glad you called in. Are you calling in about the boxing?
Yes, indeed.
Good lad. What is going on? Explain this to us, because we've had a little chat about it. We got really excited about Joshua and Fury. I think that's the fight that all British boxing fans want to see. But what is it with these contract clauses? What's going on?
Yeah, so basically, obviously Fury and Wilder had their fight. So how that worked out is Wilder gave Fury an opportunity to fight for his belt, but in the clause was obviously a rematch clause. So if Wilder loses, he gets an immediate rematch against Fury.
This is something that we're all familiar with. That usually comes with a lot of these title fights, yeah?
Yeah.
But then why? Yeah, go on. Go on.
I was saying, initially there would have been a deadline. So in terms of, right, I'll give you a rematch as long as we agree something in the next, 12 months or so.
Sure.
But because Wilder took a bit of time out, to heal from his injuries, things went on a bit. So I think Fury assumed that after a certain period, that particular clause wouldn't exist.
Okay.
So he went ahead trying to plan a fight with Joshua, assuming he knew something was in the background where Wilder was an appeal for it, but I think they didn't really think it would come into fruition, or Wilder might back out, and Wilder probably thinks, I need another fight before I get back into it.
Don't you think like it was really it was a bit schoolboy, wasn't it, of the Fury camp to announce the fight 2 days before the decision of the arbitration panel?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit. I mean, with Bob Arum, who was promoting Fury, it seemed like he had a backup plan anyway. So he had spoken to a few venues saying, look, if this arbitration, if it comes in favour of Wilder and there is going to be a rematch, have you got this stadium available? So he kind of made a few phone calls and had a few things in place just in case it happened.
Okay.
I think, I don't know whether it was they were trying to call Wilder's bluff, try to arrange a fight with Joshua, thinking Wilder might just back off, thinking, well, they got their fight arranged, it gives me space to improve or get another fight in. It just seemed a schoolboy thinking these guys were dealing with multi-million pound, £100 million fights, should know, or at least wait until that particular moment after the arbitration to actually look for venues for the Fury Joshua. But it just seemed like, I don't know whether they overlooked it or not, or whether they actually thought Wilder wouldn't go through with it because the way he got beaten last time. So again,
that was genuinely. I mean, he got taught a boxing lesson. We're talking here in the studio, Arif, Sadat, and myself, and we're basically we don't see Fury Wilder going anywhere other than Fury. We don't see Joshua Usyk. I mean, Joshua's now been forced by the WBO belt that he has. He's been forced to take the mandatory challenge there, but we don't see those fights going anywhere other than Fury Joshua, and then ultimately we'll get the Fury Joshua fight, but maybe in 12 months rather than in 3 months.
Yeah. So basically, it's all about keeping the titles together. So I mean, Fury could have easily said, "Okay, fine. What Wilder's rematch clauses come in, but you know what? I'll give up my belt and I'll fight without the belt. I'll fight Joshua anyway." Or again, with the WBO belt, the only why they're enforcing it is because they know that the Fury Joshua fight is not happening. So they were willing to take a step back, the WBO, to let this undisputed fight take place. So because they know that's not taking place, that's why they're enforcing their mandatory as well. But it just as I said, because the ball was in Wilder's court in terms of getting this decision overturned, that's taken precedent over everything. So I think Fury, what he's thinking is, the only bargaining chip I've got is the WBC title. If I don't have this, I can fight Joshua, but then he doesn't call the shots because he's not fighting the world champion. Do you know what I mean?
Just stop you there, Hamad, for a second. What's this thing about the $20 million? So is it just down to money, or is it the fact that...
Basically, because Wilder's in favour and he has to, there has to be a rematch in place. What the other thing was I think Wilder turned around and said, okay, if you want me to step aside and let you guys fight, you and Joshua, whoever wins has to fight me next, or I get to fight for the WBC title, whether that means they give up the title or not, give me $20 million. It's a step aside money. So it's a standard procedure where if someone's enforcing a title shot And if the ball's in their court and you don't want to fight them, you want to fight someone else, you're entitled, or you could
compensation,
bribe them, or yeah, that's right, exactly. It's compensation to say, look, back off a little bit. Here's some money. That'll keep you happy. Let us get our fight, and then we'll give you an immediate match.
And then, can I just get your view on this? Then, like we were talking about this as well. Like Wilder's probably well within his rights because he loses that prestige of the fight and potentially loses the chance of winning a belt by stepping aside. So he's well within his rights to ask for 20 million. But if Joshua really wanted Fury, he'd sign that check, wouldn't he?
Ooh.
No?
20 million.
20 million.
I know 20 million is a lot, but I mean, the pay-per-view on this is going to be 80, 90 million plus, right? I mean, 20 million is pocket change given the size of this fight. What do you think?
Maybe
do you think he
Joshua
doesn't
says
want it, or do you reckon it's the money that's causing him an issue?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's unheard of to give $20 million to anyone to step aside.
Is it advantageous to Joshua to let him have another fight out and let's see what happens?
No, not really. I mean, you got to strike while the iron's hot. So while everything's happening in place, I mean, if it's up to Fury and Joshua, they would obviously fight now while it's hot, while everyone's talking about them, while
absolutely.
They've been going on for a couple of months. It's like, you know what, everyone's interested in the fight.
How old is Fury, by the way?
Say again?
How old is Fury now? Is he getting on a little bit? He's still young.
32? No,
I
think
the time.
Fancy chances
are fine. Everything. It's just a case of the fact that everyone's hyped up now, and now they're going their separate ways. What if Wilder knocks Fury out? What if Usyk causes an upset?
Yeah.
And then that 100 million, where they were supposed to get $80 million each, that's going to go down the pan. And the only way it's going to keep that kind of momentum going is if they both win the fight. Then hopefully the negotiations won't be dragged out as long next time because they already have sorted the I's and dots before.
Okay.
Worst case scenario if they do lose.
Right, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Not now, but you kind of hope that they both still keep their belts in the next fight to actually make sure.
I think it's also a three. Obviously I've not heard about it before. A 3-deal fight with the same boxer, doesn't that get a little bit boring after a little while? Or
yeah, so I think with that one, like the first one was probably just a one-off, but because it was so tight,
and
the fans were saying that it made sense to do a rematch. Yeah. But when they did the rematch, the Wilder camp thought, hang on, I might lose this, so definitely have a rematch clause in the rematch. So it ended up being 3. I don't think they went into the first fight thinking let's have a 3-match series, but it just kind of panned out like that.
Basically, how it works is if you're giving someone an opportunity. But he didn't have to. Wilder did not have to fight Fury at that point. He's saying to Fury, I'll give you a shot because it was so close last time. But in return, if you beat me, I want a immediate rematch rather than me having to fight my way through the mandatories again. Because I gave you a shot, then this is how it works. Whereas, you're right, the first time round, it was this case of Wilder thought, right, Fury's just come back after a few years. He's not looking great. He's still overweight. Let me catch him now just to kind of boost my number up a little bit. But he obviously got surprised. But then obviously, we're still confident enough that he would beat Fury the second time round. But yeah, they just protected themselves. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his fault really. Second time, his costume was too heavy, so obviously that's
his shoulders.
I'm going to ask you about something else now. I might be embarrassing you here, Hamad. Sorry if I am, but Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Are we not even going to talk about that as a boxing fight? Is that just a joke?
It's just an exception, isn't it? I mean, if let's look at it as a professional boxing contest. Let's look at it as more point of, right, Mayweather's done what he has to do. He's got his legacy. He's a legend. At that age, but
as a boxer, though, Hamad, you're a boxer. Like, I genuinely treat you as a serious boxer. You had a really good amateur career. You obviously never went pro, but you had a really good amateur career. You love the sport. You obviously, you coach kids. You take the sport seriously. Don't you think this is a bit of a circus act? I mean, doesn't it embarrass you as a avid boxing fan?
I don't know. To be honest,
hasn't he earned that right to do what he wants?
The way I'm thinking about it is if Mayweather's got an opportunity to earn this money, and again, he's done it through being a legend. If he's built himself up to a certain point where he can command that kind of money and do it in an exhibition fight, it's a bit of a WWE.
It's a gimmick
behind the scenes.
It's taking
his past career, his whole career. He's earned that gimmick, hasn't he?
He's earned the money.
More if he turned around and said, you know what, I want to do the exhibition fight, but I'm giving most money to charity. Then I'd probably
100%. You could
appreciate a bit more. Thinking.
No, what I don't like. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like switching on Sky Sports and Sky Sports box office Mayweather versus, and it's like, come on.
And
come
the
on,
marketing behind it is
and
ridiculous.
I get it. It is about the money, and I get it. You know, you do get YouTube celebrities now, and I'm probably a little bit old for that. I don't know, but I just feel like, you know what, you're cheapening a sport for the sake of money, and you know, just try to maybe
it's not
attract
as if
the
you need
youngsters.
the money.
It's just like Sadat trying to
Go
go
on.
into
My kids who don't know anything about sport know about Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. They know about that. They know about the fight. They know his pay-per-view. They know they want to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
into social media.
Come on. Yeah. Okay, and then the other thing, sorry, so that just before, Ahmad, just before you go, two syllable names, you see, that's what it is. Two A's in it as well. Ahmad, just before you go, Manny Pacquiao, he's still going strong. How old is that guy? Is he still fighting? I heard he's got a fight coming up as well.
He's about 40, isn't he? 40, 41. I tell you what, I was saying this the other day, I was like, look where Mayweather's turned to. So Mayweather's gone down the rail just fighting exhibitions, and Pacquiao, he's still fighting Errol Spence, who's probably the best in that division.
Wow.
Him and Crawford, he's actually pound for pound one of the best in the world. I don't know whether he's definitely top 10 in the world.
Sure.
And so Pacquiao to actually still try and compete at that level, that speaks volumes of Pacquiao, the man he is.
And this is the fight that we never got, the Pacquiao-Mayweather in their prime fight.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting Logan Paul? Why are you fighting Conor McGregor? Like, come on, Mayweather. I mean, but he wants his undefeated legacy to stay in history, doesn't he? That's what it is. He's 50-0 now. He'll be 51-0 after he beats Logan Paul. Fight Mayweather. Mayweather's still at the top of his game. Fight Pacquiao.
Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, but after the last fight, there was no real need for another rematch because the way it all went.
Sure.
You know, I think it just looked like Mayweather had his
both
number,
spent,
and that was it. It
yeah.
wasn't as exciting as we all thought it'd be. So fine, fair enough, they won't have much, but just more props on Pacquiao that he still wants to fight the best division, pound-for-pound guys in the world, just to prove that he's still up there. And again, he beat Thurman, whether it's last time out or the time out before. And again, Thurman was on top of his game. He was a world champion. But again, it just shows how well Pacquiao's kept himself and how he can still be strong in this division at this age. But Errol Spence can be a tall order, you know. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it. I think that's a fight that I'll definitely watch.
If he beats Spence, tell you what, you rate him higher than Mayweather, some people would be, simply because of the challenges that he's done at this age.
Cool. Hamad, thank you so much for calling in.
Just 1 second.
Quickly.
If you're talking about gimmicks and fights, I think Sadat wants to get couple of rounds in the boxing gym with myself. So maybe
we'll get that sorted.
I don't know if it's going to last a couple of rounds. I don't think he'll last the first round, to be honest. But if he wants to make it a couple of rounds,
get these two into Top Level School of Boxing.
Give Mr. Wi-Fi a shout. I'm sure you can sort something out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for that, Hamad. Really appreciate your input to the show as always. Have yourself a good day and have a think about team of the season, because we'll be talking about that in the second half of the show. So interact with the show, inshallah. I'll speak to you soon. Nice.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hamad, as always, very, very informed. Friend of the show. Always good to have his calls in. I want to move on very, very quickly because we are quickly running out of time. But Leclerc got the pole position and crashed out.
It crashed.
It was really exciting qualifying. I don't know if you saw the qualifying. It was really exciting. It was a Ferrari. And he just took one of these bends, got too much of the ramp, and couldn't straighten up his wheel. And this was with. It was interesting because Verstappen was on a really good lap, and he was potentially going to take pole position, but Leclerc went off, had a crash, yellow flag went out, safety car came out, and then there was no time to restart qualifying again. So he retained pole, and that's the first pole. This was shocking for me. First pole for Ferrari since I think it was like November 2019 or something. Wow. So where have Ferrari been, and is it expected that they're going to be good around a track like Monaco, given the tight turns?
Monaco's a tough track, isn't it?
I'd say it's the ultimate test of driving, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's investment.
Yeah,
it's come down to investment. Mercedes, I've been putting the money in recently, and Ferrari has always been number one.
Ferrari, engineering-wise, you can't fault them. Yeah,
and I don't know. I think nowadays it's more difficult than ever.
Lewis Hamilton still top of the individual standings, but he's down. I think he was at 6th or 7th.
He's down to 7th now.
Yeah, 7th off the grid. But he has won from there before, and that's the thing.
What's been his worst finishing position out of interest?
Well, he's not finished.
No, he's not finished. Okay,
yeah,
is that why he's crashed or something?
Wow. But no, it's going to be an interesting one because Leclerc, I mean, obviously had a blistering lap. It is his home Grand Prix. the Ferrari is going to suit that kind of circuit. It's going on right now. Is that correct?
It's happening right now.
Yeah,
I think you've got about 15 laps left now. I don't know.
Oh wow! Okay, so if anybody's watching it,
Yeah.
if anybody's watching it, please do keep us updated because I would have definitely been watching that if I was sat at home today, looking
at
forward.
home?
If I was sat at home today, I would have been at home.
At home,
Yeah. If I was sat at home today, I'd be watching
unpacked.
that. I'd love to be watching. And we've got to go, guys. As a group, I think we've got to try and make some arrangements to go over there next season
we'll
if we can.
contribute to it, Arif.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
We'll cover our food costs at least.
You put me in a position now. I'll have to try to organise something.
Now it's been going on
listeners
for a
of
couple of years.
Salam Radio, do make sure that the next show we do that covers the Monaco Grand Prix, we do it from Race Village.
Yeah, just imagine
from
that.
Race Village. Last day of the season, guys. Football league season. Still lots to play for. Certainly the top four. Leicester got a chance to qualify. Liverpool are probably in the driving seat for that. So we'll talk about that in the second half of the show. As well as that, we are going to be doing a really interesting segment, which is going to be Team of the Season. So we'll talk about every single position. We'll do a 4-3-3 plus goalkeeper. Give that a think, and we'll pick that up in the second half of the show. We didn't get a chance to talk about FC Peterborough, so we'll give them a little shout out straight after the break. So don't go away, guys. We'll be joined by Bidan as well in about 3 or 4 minutes. So inshallah, we'll speak to you all shortly. Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
Looking to improve your living space? Plan your dream home with AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms. We design, manufacture and install your perfect kitchen or bedroom to your personal space and taste with clever storage utilising every inch. We pride ourselves on our exquisite attention to detail. Let AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms plan your perfectly tailored space fitted around you. We also offer bespoke services for understairs storage, TV units and feature walls, all designed and manufactured by us. Call us now on 01733 686 767 or visit abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk. Open to the trade and public. AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms, Unit 3 Brassy Close, Peterborough, PE1 2AZ. Plan your dream home with us. abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk.
Bowel cancer screening saves lives. If you're aged 60 to 74, the NHS will send you a free bowel cancer home testing kit every 2 years. Please complete the home testing kit when you receive it. It's easy and hygienic to use your kit, and it could save your life. Find out more by visiting Cambridgeshire and Peterborough ccg.nhs.uk and searching bowel cancer.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Desi Restaurant is open, so why not order now for your family meal tonight? We've got fish pakora, chicken pakora, charga steamed chicken, lamb and vegetable samosas, biryani, pizza, faluda, jalebi, gulab jamun, samosa chaat, fresh chicken and lamb handi, Lahori channa and much more. We've got it all at Desi Restaurant. Special offer, Niari Opaya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely, or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available, or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio 106.2 FM for the last show of the current Barclays Premier League season. You're going to say the last show ever, right? Yeah, it's not all over.
I think it's all over.
We've got plenty of shows to go, we are thinking about how we're going to run this show over the summer break. I think we're going to do something similar to the World Cup show we did, the half an hour a night.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really good if we could do it. Maybe bring in guests, particularly given it's the Euros. I'm sure we'll have somebody who's following France, someone who's following Portugal, somebody who's following.
Yeah.
So we'll try and bring fans in if we can. That'd be a really, really good show. But this is the last show of the current Premier League season. And before we go into the Premier League, FC Peterborough under 10s. The guys have been sensational.
Unbelievable.
So we've had a really good season. For those of you who don't know, the season's been pretty much interrupted because of the coronavirus pandemic. We had about, I think, 4 or 5 games where we won 1, lost 2, probably drew 1. It wasn't a great start to the season, and then everything went into lockdown. But the boys, the 9-10-year-olds, these guys, they've been staying fit and they've been practicing in their back garden. So they've been really, really good. Now, you know that the academy's been shut, right, since December. And then we only opened up in March. And they came back in March and they did look a little bit, I have to say, it's quite cute, but they looked a bit rounder than when they left the academy. And of course,
I wish my family members would say I was cute, but I'm rounder.
Well, it's cute when you're 10. It's not cute when you're like 45. Yeah. So, but they did come back. But we were drawn in a group where it was. I mean, it's completely random. There was 8 groups in total across the city, 52 teams, and we got drawn into a group in random where we played a couple of teams before, but a few teams we didn't know anything about them. They've gone on to win every single game, 7 wins straight, 3 of them on penalties,
which is ridiculous.
Which is incredible. It's like the longest winning streak we've ever had. In that age group.
I saw 2 of the penalty shootouts. Great goalkeeper.
What do you think of our goalkeeper?
Oh my God, he's so enthusiastic.
So our goalkeeper,
so energetic.
He's faced 15 penalties in the last 7 games.
1 or 2 in, I think.
He's only let 1 in.
What's his name?
Henry. I mean, he's been absolutely. And then the penalty takers as well. I mean,
that first penalty on Saturday
off the post.
Top corner, top bins.
Second one was bottom corner. Yeah. Third one was saved. The fourth one set the keeper the wrong way.
Got confidence to take the penalties as well and bury him.
Yeah. So I just feel like if we get into a penalty shootout, we're favourites just because we've got a really good keeper. So we've got really good penalty takers.
FC Peterborough has had the rest of the teams playing as well. What's the difference this year in terms of? Since March, your team.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not seen the other teams, so I've not really seen
some of the other teams. And like you said, a little bit podgy, a little bit. Yeah, fitness is certainly lacking.
Not the under-9s. The under-9s have been sensational as well.
Under-9s and the 10s, and I think after that, and plus also you've got to remember, as well as the break, there was Ramadan, and as they got older, the kids also started fasting.
The older age groups will be fasting as well.
And then they would.
The under-12s, did you guys play any games? I think
we played one game. We won the game, and then Ramadan kicked in.
Yeah,
and then all of the parents were saying, "Look, during Ramadan, we don't want kids, no training, no matches." So we didn't have any. Yeah. I mean, my boy, he was fasting. I'd taken him to training and the matches. But then I think if I wasn't coaching or assistant coaching with it,
you'd say stay out.
My missus probably would keep my kid out as well. So
of course. So and I think the under-9s have done really well as well. I saw the first half of their match yesterday.
Yep.
And they look really good. They look really exciting as well. But yeah, with like you say, the under 14, 16s, this Ramadan, really, I think that's the main thing that you can call out. And even the adult teams. I mean, the adult teams have had Ramadan as well. And you can't play at your optimal when you're fasting. No. You absolutely can't. If you could, then you'd be fasting on match days outside of Ramadan.
I think what you find is generally, even in professional sports, you get 1 or 2 footballers who are fasting because, especially in Europe, because most of them aren't going to be Muslims. So when you've got a group of 7, 8 players who are Muslims and then 3 or 4 who aren't, it does take a lot out.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think, like you say, professional teams, they'll have 2 Muslims and they'll give him 50 minutes, or they'll bring him off the bench, and they'll have a little break.
Yeah, it's like Brendan Rodgers treating Hamza, didn't they? The first game.
Hamza Chowdhury,
yeah, Hamza Chowdhury. So
not Hamza Akram.
not Hamza Akram.
Yeah, I was thinking, wow,
Hamza
step up.
Leicester,
I thought he was injured.
He stepped up, hasn't he?
Good lad, good lad.
So the way he
So
trained the players.
Yeah. So where the under-10s are now is they've topped the group. They're going to have a semi-final against either Oundletown White, is a team that we've played before. Tough team. I think we lost to them. Or One Touch. And if we win that game, and that's going to be, I think, next weekend, if we win that game, we go on to the final. Potentially, it will be one of the top 2 teams out of 52 teams in Peterborough.
That's fantastic.
And the best thing about it is the boys, they feel like they deserve it. They feel like they're at that level.
I mean, I don't know. Again, I haven't seen all the games, but I was at 3 or 4 of your games. But that game on Saturday seemed to be the best game that I've seen. And it was touch and go because it was only a 1-goal difference, and obviously I went to the penalties at the end.
Did you see me kick the coffee cup away when we conceded that goal?
I
was not happy. I did an Arif there, didn't I?
Credit to
that was a last minute one I heard as well.
But the credit to the team, you could see they stepped up in the second half.
Yeah.
And I know you made a few changes to give everyone rotation, which we were saying, which is great stuff. Regardless if he's the best player or not the best player, whatever, it's to give everyone time, which is great. And then, but I also wanted to give a shout out to the ref who let that game flow. It was amazing.
I thought he played a little bit extra time there. I think he was definitely full time.
I know, he whistled.
Sadat was like, let it go. It looks interesting. Let it go.
After he whistled about a minute after the goal, I thought, I should have whistled before.
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, you're right. Gunthorpe Harriers, quality team. Probably the toughest team we played. And it's surprising their league position because they're 4th in the league. And we beat the team that's 2nd, we beat the team that's 3rd comfortably. But that was a tough
Maybe
game.
they brought all their players back for the game as well.
They did. Well, they're playing the champions. They were playing the champions, so they knew they were playing the champions.
That defender they had was superb.
The
number 2
Indian guy, really good player,
brilliant,
really good player. So looking forward to it. Hopefully, I've got some more good news to report when we come back on next week. But well done to those guys, and obviously, really proud of them. That's a good
Henry
effort,
would be
guys.
my player for the season for a goalkeeper.
So he's definitely the runnings. He's definitely the runnings, but don't preempt it because there's a few players in that squad that are worthy winners of that trophy. Moving on, what is it? Oh, moving on, we have got Bidan online. Assalamu alaikum. Bidan, hello. How are you?
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, sorry, I had to be
a little bit. For a while, didn't you?
I had to be self-indulgent for a little while. FC People Boys, I'm sure you heard that conversation. The other 10s have been sensational.
We never treated Bidan like that. We got him on the line straight away.
True.
I hope anybody. Do they have a chance of getting trials or getting into the Peterborough United?
Really good question. Yeah, so we're actually getting academy coaches from the Norwich Development Centre come and train our boys, and I think they've trained the under 10s a couple of times. So there's definitely a few players that we've got an eye on. We've also got a member of the club who's a scout for Cambridge United, and he's forwarded one of the under 10s who's actually an under 9s. He's playing a year above, and he's probably still my best player. He's forwarded him on to Cambridge United, so hopefully Cambridge United take him on to a trial
under 12. Sorry, just to shout that out as well. One player under 12 who's Peterborough picked up for training as well. So
who got the scout down for Bradford? Who scouted you for your trials?
So that was Richie Goodsell. Legend.
Richie Goodsell, you can't.
Richie Goodsell, the guy's a legend. This guy's former army guy, came and ran a community centre back when we were 14, 15. Well, I say we were 14, 15. Some of us were, some of us weren't. On a side note, definitely one for our WhatsApp chat group. Ask Arif about the time he got trials at Leyton Orient. You'd love that story. That's a cracker, that one is. But let's move on, guys. We've already eaten up 8 minutes of the second half of the show. Bidan, we're going to be doing, as you know, team of the season. We're definitely going to talk about that. Just before we go on to that, though, what are your thoughts on Champions League qualifications? Is it in the bag for Liverpool? Do you reckon?
I said, I know they left it a bit late against West Brom, but I did say last week that they were going to make it. Them and Chelsea were going to make it. So I've not changed my mind there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think that that Alisson header. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
I think we've got to talk about that Alisson header.
Let's talk about that Alisson header. Go on then. I mean, you say you've never seen anything like it, but Schmeichel's done it before.
Schmeichel in the Champions League, wasn't it?
No, but that was so Schmeichel's was like a consolation goal in the last minute. I've never seen a goalkeeper. Well, apart from Jimmy Glass, that was obviously like God, that's when we were at uni. That's like 1999, wasn't it? I've not seen like a goalkeeper go up and just with an absolute bullet header get a winner in the last minute. I've never seen that before.
Well, it was a fantastic header.
It was unmarked. It was free.
It was a
school
no. Okay,
defending.
he wasn't marked. He was free. But that's what happens when you get a goalkeeper, because people have their own jobs, don't they? You won't know about this or that, but as managers, we know you've assigned players onto players, and then when the goalkeeper comes, it's like, who's going to mark him? The goalkeeper? You don't know who's going to mark him, right? But I don't know if you guys saw that video on the internet about in one of the African leagues, there was a last-minute winner from an African goalkeeper hit an overhead kick to score.
I didn't see that.
You've not seen that one? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. So that would have affected the game as well. But yeah, absolutely sensational for Liverpool fans. I mean, what a way to win it.
I think not just that. I think the interview by him after, where he talked about...
It was a bit soppy, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, but it was soppy.
Thanks for saying that.
It was soppy, but at the end of the day, it just showed humility of the guy as well, I think.
I think he's still embarrassed from his mistakes that he's made through the season, isn't it? He was just making up. Great comment here from Junaid, if you want to read it out. As we're talking about Alisson, says that's his moment of the season. He goes, his neighbour must have been thinking, what is going on? As he's never celebrated a goal like that before.
Brilliant. So he was at home then, he wasn't at Anfield?
Clearly not.
Yeah. Or was it at Anfield or was it at West Brom? I don't even know.
It was at West Brom.
Yeah, it was
West Brom. He probably was at Anfield.
Yeah, exactly. Bitsy, the other thing I was going to say was Leicester, your shout for Leicester top four. I mean, I know they're just missing out, but that was a really good pick early in the season, because I wouldn't have had them as top four, and they're still in with a chance. Let's be honest, they might even still get it. But really good pick. What do you think of Brendan Rodgers this season?
I think that. So actually, my shout for Leicester top four was last year.
Last year, that's what
was that last year?
Yeah, I thought so too, but I wasn't going to interrupt.
Okay, go on.
I know it feels like look, this season has absolutely flown past, obviously for obvious reasons, and it just feels like the last two seasons have merged together. But I did call them top four last season. They missed out on the last day to United, and who actually ended up finishing third. But this year, I think again, look, he's won a trophy. That's brilliant, and I know Leicester have won the league in 2016, but for them to win an FA Cup is overperforming. I mean, look, we always sort of say Tottenham never win anything. They're a huge club, so it's not as though the bigger clubs have got, it's not as though the bigger clubs like monopolise all the trophies. It is open, and it's difficult to win a trophy. And I think that with Brendan Rodgers doing that, not being one of the traditional big boys, I think is very commendable of him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna move us on quickly. Just had a comment from Cami. Cami Khan said, for a club like Leicester, winning the FA Cup is bigger than getting top four. You've got to agree with that. Like, they've won the league, like you said, in the past. They've finished top four in the past.
Would they
They've never won the FA Cup.
I
think the fans would prefer the FA Cup than the top four this season.
Yeah, I think for them, absolutely.
Okay, and then quickly, you're going for David Moyes, manager of the season.
Yeah, I'm just surprised what he's done with West Ham.
Me and Arif, I think, are thinking Pep Guardiola or Brendan Rodgers. Yeah,
I think it's for me, Brendan Rodgers.
Bidsy, where do you stand on this? Do you reckon Brendan, Pep?
I think Guardiola, if he wins the Champions League. No, not Oli. No. I think Guardiola, if he wins the Champions League. Tuchel could get a chance, could get in there if he wins the Champions League.
Good shout, Tuchel.
Tuchel's done great.
I think let's not write Ole off. Ole has done a fantastic.
To be fair, he has.
Let's be honest on that. This last sort of 6 months? I mean, considering where they were last year and how everybody wanted his head
to go into the final of the Europa League,
absolutely.
But Moyes, I think, has done a good job as well. But I don't think it's enough for manager of the season. So I would go for either Guardiola or...
Should we say Guardiola or Tuchel, depending on the winner on Saturday?
When you expect Guardiola, Klopp, these big so-called clubs, for managers to do so well, the fact is, you're expecting Oli to compete. That was why he's brought in. Okay, the gap we thought maybe was a lot big.
You're talking about sleeper hit. You're talking about sleeper hit, yeah? So if Guardiola does it, we expect it. If Tuchel does it, we expect it. Yeah. But the likes of Moyes, Brendan Rodgers, and Ole as well, to be fair, sleeper hit, I think.
Okay, but he was at a bigger club with more funds, with more
I'm going to go Brendan.
Players.
I'm going to go Brendan Rodgers. If nobody's going to disagree with me, should we just do Brendan? Brendan, anyone?
I got like that comment. You got to read that one.
If he gets top, all right. If he gets top 4, let's go Brendan. Then yeah, all right. If he gets top 4.
Okay, Junaid Khalil saying I agree with Sadat. We should go Moyes. So let's just go Brendan. Right, goalkeeper of the season. Look, it's difficult to look past somebody like Martinez. But
Martinez of Aston Villa.
Yeah. I mean, he's been really, really good. Obviously, I'm following fantasy football, and he's been on my team.
So honourable mention. Obviously, look, Edison.
Edison, of course, yeah.
Like the assists and things. And like Gary Neville chose Mendy, didn't he? Which I'm a bit like, where's
Yeah,
that
that was a bit random.
But I'd go for Martinez, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for Martinez. Okay, okay. Let me start this off. I think Luke Shaw left back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw.
I hate the fact that he's been so good.
He's been excellent
Yeah.
in terms
He's
of...
stepped up, hasn't he? He's really
He's
stepped up.
really stepped up. And
Good news for England. Good news for England.
Yeah, that's probably the one consolation that it is good news for England. So Luke Shaw, Man United at left back. Let's go right back. No, right back's going to be right back. Okay, so for our listeners listening in, please do get your comments in. Especially, I'd love it if Cammy commented, because Cammy's no fan of Liverpool, but he's a big fan of attacking fullbacks. Seeing as he used to be an attacking fullback at AK days, do you remember?
It
Played
started off as a fullback.
Yeah, so I'd love his views on this. I mean, Wan-Bissaka, obviously, nobody's going to question his ability defensively. Most interceptions, I think, in the league. Most tackles attempted in the league, or certainly the top 2 or 3. So nobody's going to question that. But then there's others as well. Like, so you've got.
He can't cross the ball.
Wan-Bissaka.
who did? Really weirdly, do you know who's ahead of Wan-Bissaka in the tackles? It's Luke Ayling, who plays for Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds. Yeah, Leeds United.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, right back, it's between Cancelo.
Junaid Khalil saying Cancelo, yeah.
And probably Kyle Walker have been kind of fighting it out for that.
I'm not sure about
I don't know. You know, the thing with Kyle Walker for me is because he's been used as a right centre back, it kind of dilutes what you want from it. If you're going to play a 4-3-3, and that's what we're going for, I wouldn't want Kyle Walker as my right fullback that bombs down the wing and attacks. I wouldn't mind him as a right centre back. You know, England used him as a right centre back, didn't they? In a 3-5-2.
Yep.
So I discount Kyle Walker. I appreciate he's a quality player, but I wouldn't.
But you know who I would say? So, you know, my choice is going to be Kufal from West Ham. Like I know a couple of West Ham fans, and they just absolutely swear by him, and I think he's been brilliant every time I've seen him. So I'm either going to go for him or Cancelo, and I'm just going to go for Kufal just to be different.
Do you know, you said Kufal and Cancelo. We've had two people interacting with the show. Cammy and Junaid are both saying Cancelo.
So it has to be Wan-Bissaka then?
So I think it has to be Wan-Bissaka. No. I think let's go Cancelo. But can we just Sadat, I want to bring you in. 20 seconds. Tell me about Trent. Your views on Trent. Come on, seriously. I love him to bits. You're gone.
Look, ideal player, I'd like to merge Wan-Bissaka and Trent together.
Okay.
So he defensively,
though,
I know. He defensively, I think Trent has been, because they're missing the main defender, he's been caught out.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And that's what it is with him.
Do you know what? That's probably the most insightful thing you've ever said on this show. That's brilliant.
That's the most fair thing.
That's one of the most fair things. Yeah. Arslan saying Cancelo as well. We've got 3 listeners saying Cancelo, so definitely let's go Trent.
Wan-Bissaka, I thought.
No, it's Cancelo. Cancelo, Man City. Okay, centre backs. I mean, we're running out of time, so let's be quick. Centre backs. Diaz, no arguments there.
Yeah, Diaz.
Yeah,
Diaz.
Ruben Diaz. Let's go Diaz for centre back. Man City. Ooh, second one. I know you guys are going to be saying Maguire. I know he's had a good season.
So Maguire has had a good season. Stones has had a good season. I think outside of those two, Fofana has had a really good season.
Fofana's been brilliant.
I'd go for Maguire.
I'd go for Maguire.
I think
Maguire. So I have to be honest. I was one of those there were a few people saying, somebody saying Maguire and Diaz. I was one of those that was thinking, come the end of the season, we're going to be raving lyrically about Thiago of Chelsea. And it's just not happened. It's just not happened.
No, that is a good shout, to be honest with you.
I don't know. No, I think he's made a few blunders. Sorry?
No, since Frank's gone, I think Thiago's been quite solid. So he's a good shout, but I think Maguire and Stones is they've been two the best.
No, Stones has got an error in it.
Sakib Hussain is saying Sadat Akram is always insightful.
Oh, well done, Sakib Hussain.
Well done. Johnny Evans and Diaz that's a good shout. Johnny Evans.
Yeah, Johnny Evans, decent.
Johnny Evans is a good shout. So,
No,
I mean, we've
Maguire.
got Johnny Evans, Fofana, and Maguire.
Maguire.
For me, it's Maguire.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Let's go Maguire. I think because I think you have felt it at Man United since his absence.
Yep.
So fair play to him, and he's
As
kept
much
it
as
well.
I hate certain teams, I think he's
Hate's
been.
a strong word, though.
Right.
Well, okay.
We've got seven. Let's fly through, guys. 3 in midfield. Gundogan.
Has to be in there.
Bruno.
Has to be
in that phase where City won, like, was it 21 games in a row?
Yeah.
He was the best player.
Yeah, Gundogan.
Yes.
I think definitely. And then left and right.
Fernandes.
Fernandes. So Fernandes as a middle three or a top three? I know he's
Middle
plays.
three, he's in the
Middle three. So let's put
middle three.
Fernandes. I think Fernandes is an obvious. I mean, again, I hate how good he's been. He's been sensational. Fair play to him. And then the third.
The third one, like, loads of people just lazily say De Bruyne. I
No.
don't think he's been good, but I don't think he's had like an amazing.
No,
season.
he's below
For
par.
me, I think Pogba, since he's come back from COVID,
Since Bruno's come back in there, I think Pogba, yeah.
he's been
No.
excellent for me.
I just think he's
not
like,
for me and not for Bidan. Bidan, I won't speak for you, but not for me, not
you
for
just
you. Right?
have, but you
No,
just
no,
have.
Pogba's a weird one. Pogba's a weird one because, like, there's a debate going on now as to, like, where if he starts on Wednesday, where does he start? Does he start on the left?
Sorry to laugh. I've just had a comment from Junaid Khalil saying Fred.
Fred and McTominay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but a serious one from Aslan though. Suchek, I think great shout. Suchek's played pretty
Suchek
much
is a
every
great
minute of
shout.
every game.
I was going to
And
say
Cammy's put Mount, and Mount's not been bad, has he?
Mount's been brilliant, but again, Mount front three or middle
Not
three?
really, he's front, really.
Front three, I don't think.
I think he plays right side of a front three, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount will probably come as a. This is the thing, like front three, Mount would struggle to get in ahead of the best three in the league. But he's one of those that kind of sits somewhere in between. So I'd discount, but I'd say Suchek, honestly, I'd back Suchek as a.
I just think Pogba's that's something special.
What about
I just-
Tielemans?
He's not maybe as
Tielemans.
consistent.
Oh, Tielemans, yeah.
Yeah, let's not forget him. I think he's had an excellent season as well.
Yeah, Cammy's saying,
I'd
yeah,
say
Mount doesn't get into front
He doesn't
three.
get into front three. Yeah.
Since Tuchel has come in, Kante has been great as well.
Kante, yeah.
In the
Kante's
in the
been
Champions
excellent.
League in particular, like against Real Madrid, he was in both legs.
Absolutely,
I've never
absolutely.
seen-
Yeah.
All right. So given given that
Gotta choose one though.
given that Sadat and Arif are strikers and Bidzi, you're a fullback, and I'm the only centre midfielder in this room. Let me choose the third one.
No, Ishrak. No, hang on. There's more comments. Ishrak
There
saying
are- there are-
Pogba all day long.
Yeah, Pogba's quality, but that's Ishrak Ali, so you got to take that with a pinch of salt.
Ishrak's quality. Ishrak is quality.
I'm gonna go, guys. I want to choose it. I want to choose it. Suchek.
Yeah, just delete
Suchek.
Ishfaq Ali's comments. I think
Yeah,
just
when Ishrak comments, just delete it. That's the advice I've been given from Arif. So Suchek in there, excellent.
Never heard his advice before.
Okay, front three then. Kane is the obvious one.
For me on the right, let's start on the right.
Kane is the obvious.
yeah,
Let's do
yeah.
the obvious one, right? Kane.
Kane.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Salah has to be in there. I think
I
last
think
four.
Salah's goal.
He's been below
Salah,
par,
for
hasn't
me,
he?
for me,
It's
it
been
was
answered, go on.
for me, it was between Salah and obviously Rashford. Not Rashford, sorry. Between it's Salah and Foden. I thought Foden's had a great season. but I
Junaid's
think
just said Foden as well, alongside Salah and Kane. Go
I
on.
think, but Salah has got the goals, and he's had, like, obviously in Liverpool's season where they've struggled at times.
Yeah,
he's
they've been
second top
poor, but
scorer.
he's every season for the last 3 or 4 years now. 4 years he's been there.
So from the Liverpool front three, you'd only consider Salah,
I would only consider
not
Salah.
Jota. He's had injuries, so you can't really say.
I think it'd
okay.
be Salah.
From City's front three,
Or Firmino,
or front whatever.
Firmino potentially.
City don't have a front three, do they?
Yeah, City don't have a front three, but yeah, from City, you'd only think Foden. Sterling's been good.
You couldn't think of.
Sterling's
Sterling's been on and off, hasn't he?
Yeah, Aguero's been injured. He's just not really stepped up.
Yeah.
So potentially Foden. Spurs, obviously, we've got Kane. Son.
Oh, yeah.
Another
Son.
excellent. Yeah, I think Son's tailed off last 2-3 weeks, but overall in the season he's been brilliant.
And not just being controversial. Bidzi, you know this anyway. I'm a big fan of Rashford, especially when he plays on the left.
Yeah.
He's
So on the left, yeah. So Son's left winger, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or does he play?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on we've not mentioned Grealish. I think Grealish on the left is like he's had a brilliant.
I don't like his hair.
Always socks round down to his ankles.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact he doesn't wear shin pads. He went through a phase of wearing I think he wore the same pair of boots since like
he doesn't wear shin pads.
No shinnies,
like that. He doesn't wear shin pads.
Is that allowed?
Well, yeah, it's his risk, isn't it? He's old enough. He's 18.
The problem with me, like, so Grealish, I think has had a great season, but obviously he's been injured a lot. I think Rashford has been outstanding on the left, but I think
he's not played enough on the left, though, has he? They've played him in different positions.
He has.
All right, we've literally got 90 seconds, guys, and we've got Brendan, manager Martinez, we've got Cancelo, Luke Shaw, we've got Diaz Maguire, we've got Fernandes, Gundogan, and Soucek. We've got Salah, I've put him down now, Kane. We've
Image doesn't get a say when it comes to hair.
Left winger, you got Son, Rashford, Foden. Pick one, guys.
Son for me. I think that's
Son.
So that,
yeah,
Son.
Son. Even after what he did at United.
If he was my son, I wouldn't give him dinner tonight. Right, let's go Son. I think let's go Son. Yeah.
Son.
Right, so that's it, guys. That's our official
Who
team
did we put
season.
manager then? Who did we put?
Brendan. Yeah. We've got Brendan. I know you wanted David Moyes, but we've got Brendan.
Yeah.
We've got a minute of the show left. Bidsy, this has been fun. Guys, thank you for joining in.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your
manager.
interaction. Mohib is saying Rashford this season. Mohib, maybe Rashford next season. So let me just go through that team again. Then Brendan Rodgers as manager, Martinez in goal, Cancelo and Luke Shaw fullbacks, Diaz and Maguire centre-backs, Fernandes, Gundogan and Soucek from midfield, and Salah, Kane and Son as strikers.
I'm glad Mohib agrees with David Moyes.
Yeah, Mohib thinks
getting
David
dinner
Moyes
tonight.
as well. Thank you so much, Bidsy. Thank you so much.
cheers,
Arif and
guys.
Salah.
Thank
That's
you,
very,
thank
really
you.
great. And our listeners, as always, thank you so much for your interaction. This has been a really fun segment, and Image don't get a say when it comes to hair. I said about Grealish. I think he's got a fair point there. Thank you for that issue. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And yeah, inshallah, we'll look forward to next week. We'll talk about the Europa League final, the Champions League final, and anything else sports related. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you
Take
next
care
week.
of yourself. Allah Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.